Okay, I'm going to show how to do 516 divided by 6. The 516 is the dividend, 6 is the divisor, and the answer will be the quotient. The strategy that I'm going to use is different than the strategy that I learned when I was in grade 5, and it's a little more flexible than that strategy. So to start, I'm going to think of the fact that there are families of facts. 516 divided by 6 equals something is in a family of facts with 6 times something equals 516. So I'm going to think 6 times what can give me a number that's close to 516 but not higher than 516. To think about that, I'm going to think of 516 as 5 hundreds or 50 tens. 6 times what would equal 5 hundreds, or 6 times what equals 5? That doesn't work. So I'm going to think 6 times what would equal 51, or 50 tens, because 510 is 51 tens. So there's a question that's close to that. 6 times 8 equals 48, which is close to 51. But 6 times 8 would only give us 48, so I'm going to go 6 times 80, which will give us 48 with a 0 after it, or 480. So 80 times 6, what I'm doing is I'm breaking up, or I'm dividing the 516 into 6 equal groups. I'm going to start by putting 80 in each of those 6 equal groups. So 80 in each of 6 equal groups is 80 times 6, so I'm getting rid of, or distributing from 516, 80 times 6, which is 480. And then I've got to figure out how much I've still got left to distribute. So I've distributed 480 because I put 80 in each of 6 groups. And now I've got to do some subtraction. I've got to subtract 480 from 516. So 516 minus 480. I'm going to have 6 ones, and then I'll have 51 tens minus 48 tens, and that's going to leave me with 3 tens. Now I'm doing another division question. I've got the 36 that are left, and I'm going to divide them amongst the 6 groups. So I had 516, I distributed 480 to each of 6 groups by putting 80 in each of those groups, and I've got 36 left. I'm going to divide 36 by 6, and the answer is 6. I'm going to take those 6 and I'm going to put 6 each in each of the 6 groups. So 6 times the 6 groups is 36. I've managed to distribute all of the things that I had left. So now I've got no remainder, and my quotient is the total of 80 plus 6, which is 86, because that is what I put into each of the 6 groups. I put 80 and then I put 6. So in total, I put 86 in each of the 6. My answer. I'm going to show you how to check using the inverse operation. I'm going to take my quotient and multiply it by the divisor, and I'm going to see if I get my dividend. So 6 times 6 is 36, and 6 times 80 is 6 times 8 is 48, plus that 0 because it's 6 times 80. And then I'm going to add these up. So 6 ones and 3 tens plus 8 tens is 11 tens. So it's 110 and 100. And then I have 100 and 400s, 516. That's my dividend. So this is the correct quotient.
The thing that I like about this strategy is it can be somewhat flexible. Let's say that I hadn't correctly picked out 80. Let's say that I had done 516 divided by 6. And I had started instead with, let's say I started with 60. 60 times 6 is 360. And now I can do this subtraction. And 51 minus 36 is 15. So I've got 156, I mean, say, divided by 6. And let me see, what could I do? I'm going to do 20. 20 times 6 is 120. 156 minus 120 is 36. And now I'm doing 36 divided by 6, and that's 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Now I'm left with 0, so I have no remainder still. And now I'm going to total up all the things I put into the quotient. 60 plus 20 is 80 plus 6.
It's 86. I got the same answer, even though I split different amounts into each of the 6 groups to start with. I ended up with the same answer. So that's how to do long division using a more creative and flexible approach than the approach that I was taught in grade 5. Thank you for watching.
I broke the chains before they choked me out.